Thank you guys for tuning in. We're back with more of Reform TV. I'm sitting here with Omar and Rocco of High by Nature. How you doing, fellas?
Doing great, Richard. How you doing?
I'm all right. So, where are you guys from?
Right now we're in the Davidsonville area, so it's kind of Annapolis, outskirts of Annapolis.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. The name High by Nature. Where does that come from?
I'll take this one. Yeah, sure. Well, to go all the way back to the front, we start doing music as a family. My father's a singer-songwriter, so music runs in our family. And when I started writing songs, playing keyboard, I was probably around 11 or 12 years old. And I kind of had a cool concept for like a solo act where I could call myself, Omar Richter, and then the name of my album could be Higher by Nature. I was like, that would be a cool name. And just kind of like laid dormant like that for a couple of years. And then things happened musically. I was in a band with a couple buddies, and then next thing you know, Rocco came up. Of course, we're brothers, and my older brother Sam also plays music as well. And so we started to want to do music together as a group.
Right.
And we were coming up with what should be a good name, and we all kind of brought ideas we had to the table, and that was something that I had in the back of my mind, like Higher by Nature. I really like that because for me, it's about elevated consciousness,
right,
being a higher consciousness type of person, positive, and a different message rather than just like high, like, oh, we want to be high, what I mean? So
right.
I liked where it was like mainstream because it was catchy, but then
and
I also like it meant
words.
Yeah, exactly. It meant something real to us though. So it was kind of cool whenever somebody said, well, if that's a common question, how'd you get your name? So like, okay, boom, here's the story. So then here we are, Higher by Nature.
So you two are actually blood brothers?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So what was it like growing up like the Jacksons, like in a musical family? What was that like? Are you guys like the secret Jacksons?
I mean, definitely Jackson 5's off the chain. I mean, I'd say it was kind of more fun than anything else. All of us, my dad's father, has his rock opera, the Ray Orchestra, and we have a lot of music. Like my dad has written an entire rock opera growing up. He was writing a lot of poetry and music when he was in high school and college in that way. And really, music's always been something that's kind of been more of a passion. Like in the family, we've all done it. I'll say for me, I kind of really started on the harmonica, believe it or not, playing that and kind of jamming out and really just being able to like play loose with it and do whatever. And then I started playing little conga drums, and really everybody, we have quite a few sisters. 4 sisters actually, and they all play music as well. And really,
so you're like a whole family ensemble.
Yeah, man, it was.
People used to joke us like we were the Partridge Family because we used to do local concerts at like the Natural Healing Wellness Center and different festivals around town, Annapolis, when they would do different parades in West Annapolis and stuff like that. And we would play music, and people would come up and they'd see, this mother, father, 7 kids, and they're all playing. It was like, it's pretty cool.
Right. So you guys have always just played music. Is that? It's been since you were little, it's just been what you wanted to do?
I mean, yeah, our father definitely a big influence, but obviously looking up to our father's great guy, and really plays acoustic guitar, just incredible, phenomenal, you know what I mean? And all of us really just started wanting to play with our dad and our mom. She sang, and it was just like incredible angel chorus, and just kind of spawned from there. Music's always been in our family and been in our blood, and just been really a great way for us all to share time together. So that's like a basis of it.
One thing I want to add to that, there was a really cool experience we had when our grandmother passed away, my father's mother, and he always dedicated a lot of his musical talent to his father and his mother and everything like that. Well, when she died, he was going to do this song he had written called Peace and Love for her funeral. And he asked me if I wanted to play with him, and I had never played before. Wow. And so he taught me just the 3 chords for the song to play on the piano. And he was like, well, if you feel comfortable, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Well, then, the funeral happened, and he went up to play it, and he just looked at me, and I was like, and I came up, and I was like, I'm doing it. I just didn't want him to be up there by himself. And then after that moment, it was like we just never stopped playing music together.
Right.
And one child after the next picked up their instruments. Like Rock said, he started with one, moved to another, and then, the whole family band kind of came from there. But we always really felt like something magical happened that day, and she kind of passed on that whole gift of music to the next generation. And so it's a really beautiful thing, music for our family.
So individually, how many instruments do you both play?
I personally play guitar, and keyboard is my primary instrument. I also play the drum kit as well as percussion, and I'm also do some beatboxing and working on the bass.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm pretty much doing a lot of percussion stuff. I've been playing a little djembe for another side project that Omar's doing with music. I've kind of fiddled with a couple different instruments. I've played on the keyboard for a little while because I was trying to get the idea of how, music was working. And played on the guitar a little bit, the same thing, just kind of trying to get an idea of music. But whenever I started coming up, you know, like the Circle of Fifths and all that stuff, I kind of just rerouted back to more basic drumming and percussion. And I've always really had fun with that, playing like jazz, percussion. I got a lot of training from a few different cool drummers, and mostly self-taught. Took a lot of books out of the library. You know, we actually homeschooled, so like we have a good drive, which maybe is one of the things I can credit to our ability to play music so creatively. Is like we've always just had a drive to, like, if you want to improve on something, you know, you got to dedicate and do it yourself, kind of a thing.
Right.
And so it's pretty much been the drums for me. But like Omar said, you know, beatbox. So we've been doing a lot more stuff. Obviously with Hot Flow and, you know, doing like freestyling things, beatbox. You know, I love that kind of stuff. I definitely love to jump from behind the kick because it's hot back there, you know what I mean? And then come out and let like, you know, somebody go off on some beats and let me, you know, freestyle, because I really like to do that too, and that's definitely a passion. I mean, I'm gonna have a great time doing that. So
aside
definitely
from performing as a family, when was like the we're here moment for Higher by Nature? When was the time when Higher by Nature was kind of like declared?
Yeah, I'll take that one because it was kind of like really me and my older brother Sam. We were in another project called 44 Pounds back when I was about 19, so that's about 9 years ago or so. And we were in that project for a little bit, and when that project kind of broke up, we were like, man, we think we're a strong enough nucleus we could do our own project with him on bass and me on keys and singing. We just had a lot of my original music and stuff. And then Rocco, who's 4 years younger than me, and I'm 4 years younger than my oldest.
All the math.
Yeah, well, you know, they can figure, y'all listeners can figure it out. But basically the bottom line was he was a little bit younger than us at that time, but he really wanted to play music with us, and he was like, you know, we were like, well, you're gonna have to get good quick, you know? And he really did. He picked up his sticks and he started playing on the kit, and it wasn't too long after that Higher by Nature was really born. So probably now for, I guess, about 8 years, maybe something like that, we've really been doing music together as the three of us as brothers. And we've had a couple players come in and go out in a few different projects, but pretty much the nucleus of us as brothers and music is pretty strong for us.
Right. So the family aspect, has it provided a lot of growing pains for the group?
Yeah, yes and no. I'll say yes, because just the dynamics of being family. Every now and then, you know, it's easy to like get a little frustrated with someone who's your brother versus somebody like, oh, you're getting together, it's your music time, you want to really be focused. Boom, you're going to kind of get through it. But as brothers, we've had, you know, those ups and downs, whatever. But then I would say no, because just the camaraderie, you know, and knowing each other, and like there's that that innate understanding, that sixth sense with each other when we play. We almost don't even have to look, we don't even have to talk, and it's like we just get in that whole vibe. So I would really say less pains than more. As a, you know, a total answer, I would say less pains than anything, because there's just so much positivity that comes from the spirit of all three of us working together. That's been
So
been
there are
easy.
No Michaels, no Tito's, just all Jacksons.
Yeah, that's right.
I got you.
And you know, honestly, from any, because you know, we're always trying to look at things from a positive direction. I know Kojo tries to do that. You know, we're trying to do that too. And I mean, if you think about it, anything that happens bad, in a certain sense, it only leads you to more growth in your ability to perform.
Right, definitely.
And I mean, me and Omar, at this point, it's like stage fright. You know what I mean? It's like not really something that's like on the table. You know what I mean? Butterflies don't really jump in the stomach anymore. It's like, you know, performing is something that we more like to do, have a passion about, and you know, it's not really work for us. It's play. And when you finally get on stage, it's like, this is what I've been waiting all this time. So I've been practicing all my practices for. It ain't time for me to be like, oh no, there's a big crowd. You know, I'm shy. It's not time for that. You know what I mean? It's time for you, like, get out there and do what I want to do for all these people who have obviously come here to see me perform, and you know, my people that I'm performing with. And I mean, I know Omar feels the same way. Like, and Kojo, obviously, that's why, you know, I feel like we don't butt heads at all, because, you know, we all have the same notion. We know, look, it's for the people. You know, like he was saying before, we're not really trying to make a lot of money. You know, right now it's like we caught up to Kojo running La Marathon, you know, and now we're just running right next to him, kinda. You know, and that's the way we're looking at it. And we're just trying to push this thing as far and see how far it can go. I mean, we've got the whole world to cover, so.
That is a great way to look at it. So, what really differs you guys from other performers?
I think it's our message, ultimately. It's been that from the start. Higher by Nature, just wanting to give everybody everything they love about music, but come from the heart, you know, and, you know, never sell out the message, always keep true to the feeling that there's something more that we're here for as people, and that, you know, we want to increase the unity and increase the love amongst our own community and worldwide. And, you know, it's like a little bit cliche, but we need it. You know, it's like, it's been a long time since someone like John Lennon or the Beatles were just saying, you know, all you need is love, you know, and it's kind of like we have a great time listening to all the beats and all the music and all the versatility of genres. That's music that's out there. We love all kinds of music. And, you know, we'll go from Linkin Park to Bob Marley to, you know, Destiny's Child. It's all good. We just love the music. But for us, what we want to put out there and represent ourselves with is this just strong, powerful message of peace, you know, and harmony with one another.
That's great. So when you guys are performing, you're, you know, in front of a big crowd, is there anything that you kind of tell yourself? Because I know you're saying that, you know, stage fright is not an issue for you guys. But was it ever a point where it was, you know, like where you guys are there and you're ready, you're in front of your big first crowds? What was it that got you past that stage?
You know, there's, I'm sure every musician out there can attest to this. It comes to a point when you're playing music and you're kind of just really happy, and you can recognize, wow, I'm in it. Like I'm actually in it. I'm playing it. You know, if I miss a beat or if I do something wrong here, it's gonna show, you know what I mean? It's like I'm actually in the music. And I'll say for like a few times when I first started drum, because, you know, I started on percussion and then kind of worked my way into the drum kit. But like, it was a little bit like that, like the whole nerves, I think was the main thing. Was like, you know, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up. It's like kind of like a reoccurring thought in your brain, like kind of reoccurring thought. But at some point, you know, in practice, practice makes difference, you know what I mean? But once you practice, you feel like, wow, you step up there and you're like, man, it's muscle memory. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's muscle memory, and you're in that moment. And once you've had a few times when you're in that moment, and you're just really enjoying, like, wow, I'm like in that moment. Like for me, anyways, especially playing the drums, there may be different, you know, instruments are different ways, but like I felt like once that had happened a few times, I started to recognize that stepping up on stage was something that was like, you know, it's like just let me paint the picture, you know what I mean? Let me unfold what I already have got. It's not really like something totally new to me. It may be new to you, the listener, but for me, this is something that, you know, I've got, you know, it's a thing I'm gonna bring out, and it's gonna be polished, and it's gonna look as clean as it possibly can. And really, I think saying a lot of positive things about how you're gonna go, and really, you know, being able to visually see where you wanna be at the end. You know, it's like, where do you start? Well, that's good, but then a lot of people, you know, they start strong and they finish weak. And it's like, if you know where you want to go, I really feel like that can push you through those moments where it's like, you know, what is that? That kind of like, you know, it's that stage fright thing. But yeah, kind of like in that zone for me anyway. That's kind of where my whole thing like kind of cleared up. Things seem to be working pretty good on stage and all that after I went through that moment a few times, you know? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, for me, I don't get the stage fright either per se, but I definitely feel that excitement, that energy every time I'm ready to perform. And I know I'm my biggest critic. You know, I'm a perfectionist, and I always find things in my performance where I could do better. And so, for me, I think it's the constant drive to be better, to be the best that I can be. That's what gets me through. If I'm feeling like, oh man, this was going to be tough, then it'd be like, yeah, but if you don't get through this notch under your belt, how you get to the next level. And so it's kind of that own personal drive and self-motivation to just become just a little better, just a little better, just a little better. So then, you know, that gets you through those moments where you're like, oh man, this is going to be crazy right here, you know.
So you spoke about getting to the next level. What's the next level for Hired by Nature?
Well, currently right now, the thing we're really excited about is a project that we've been doing with Kojo Hot Flow. He's a hip hop artist around Annapolis, and it's kind of magic the way that we've been linking up and doing, you know, mixing our styles, our eclectic, you know, hip hop rock that we do with his hip hop. And that's to me like there's a lot of places we could go, but right now that's where our focus is. Just excited to grow. We've always thought we had, like, I know I changed subject a little bit right there, but we've always thought we had a cool thing where we give people not what they're expecting. So when we come on the stage, we might switch our instruments, or, you know, we might switch this guy on vocals, or like, you never quite know what you're gonna expect. And that's kind of like, that's the next level for Hired by Nature, you know, to continue to put that show on there where people come to the show, they don't know what's gonna happen, you know, and that's kind of what we're excited to continue to work with right now, because there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of acts. There's a lot
Right.
of music. You know, it's so if you don't have something a little bit special, you know, in your pocket, then it's difficult to kind of make the impact you want to make. So
Definitely.
that's the next level for Higher by Nature. You know, is
Yeah.
to continue to sneak into the scene one step at a time and explode people's imagination with stuff they weren't expecting to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to embellish on that too, because for all of us, we're realizing that, you know, music, you going up there and you perform. You know what I mean? It's like a carnival per se, or like, you know, the NBA players when they go out there and they perform. It's like when we get up on stage, you know, there's more to that. Like music, to me, I think I can say for Omar, you know, for Kojo, like it's a little bit gotten like mainline, you know, stagnant.
Conform,
Like what's like
right.
Omar saying, what's going on? Where does it jump every now and then? You know what I mean? Where does it do the highs and lows? Like where's the change? What's the difference? And for us, we're like, well, what do you really want? Like if I go out to a club and I'm gonna spend $10, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna buy some drinks. What do I want? What do I want? I want to see something happen in front of my eyeballs that I'm like, this is cool. And I want to come back and I don't know what they're going to do. But, you know, they came out and they all, like, all the, you know, musicians came and, like, got on a certain drum and, like, did this thing. And it was, like, some choreographed thing that looked really cool, you know? And it's like, honestly, you see Dance with the Stars, you see all these shows where people are coming out and they're doing their, you know, routines and they're singing. It's like people want more. And unless if you have that mentality, like I'm going to put more on the plate for you to have,
Right.
then it's kind of going to be like, say, the same mainstream. And so, like Omar's saying, you know, we want to feel like when we come up on stage, we're going to do a performance. You know, it's not just like a common grade musical act where somebody might be like, okay, it's another musician coming on, I'm going to go downstairs. You know, it's like, well, this is Kojo Hoffa, this is Higher by Nature. This is these guys. They're coming up and they're gonna perform something.
Right.
We want to be there to see what they got going on. So
All
it's
right.
a little bit of what we're thinking too when we're playing. You know what I mean?
Okay. So in conclusion, if anybody wanted to, you know, check out Higher by Nature and their music, where can they go to find you guys?
Well, right now we're on MySpace and like say Higher by Nature's been doing a few different things more in the studio per se than actually like playing out right now. But we do have the full-length album Sonic Rainbow, which you can get at CD Baby. You just go to cdbaby.com/Higher by Nature. And then you can also go onto MySpace, and we have a lot of new music and other musical things on there. We're trying to push the Facebook, and we're trying to push some other things too, but you know how it is. If you don't put your effort a little bit more predominant in a certain area,
Right.
you're not going to see success. And so when you spread out too thin, you know, it's just a thin layer. So we're trying to keep layers thick, but yeah, right now you can check us out on MySpace /Higher Music by Nature. So yeah, check that out. And
We want to thank Higher by Nature for stopping by the show today. Thank you so much. All right.
bump, just jump on it. Come on.
To the rhythm, create an oasis. No wasted effort, just a basic.
Nothing to prove.
I sway with the breeze, obvious ease.
Slightly bend my knees.
It's something divine.
And I feel on top of it.
Organic red wine.
And the time and God, but like, stop it with the jokes.
You want it serious?
The gift of life.
The ultimate
I'm like,
experience.
stop it with the jokes.
You want it serious?
The gift of life.
The ultimate experience.
So
Please don't worry.
it's all
No harm can come to the children. Just the only possibility is spontaneous.
This is my reaction when the tracks bump, just jump on it. Come on,
Move to the rhythm, create an oasis. No wasted effort, it's just the basics.
nothing to prove.
Obvious use,
Slightly bend my knees.
something divine.
I feel on top of it.
Organic red
And
wine.
the time and God, but like, stop it with the jokes.
You want it serious?
It's the gift of life, the ultimate experience. Stop it with the jokes.
You want it serious?
It's the gift of life, the ultimate experience. So my best.
Please don't worry. It's all about life anyway. No harm can come to the children. The only possibility is fulfillment.
Eventually, illusions fade as we see into light. We have paid every brick laid in effort to be divine. Come again and say, eventually, illusions fade as we see into light. We have